Hi, this is Jeff Blauette, technical agronomist with Cooperative Farmers Elevator. And on this week's Field Friday segment, we're gonna kind of wrap it up for the season. We're racing to the finish line much like this corn is. So there isn't a lot to look at and talk about anymore. It's just time to get this stuff out. We were talking at different points of the year, the progress of our crop, and we had a long period where we probably had the best crop we've ever had. It's always hard to get to the end of the finish line and still have that be the truth. And in the most part, we probably are lacking some this year with some of the storm damage and some of the disease that we had come in here. Most of you have probably been able to see as you drive around the country how fast this corn just died. Especially if it did not get a fungicide. I think the fungicide is going to be a very well worth investment this year again. But even the fungicide treated fields, the rust just kept coming and coming. So we have a lot of rust, some tar spot come in, although not a heavy pressure yet. But all these things that came in, you've got a heck of a lot of this corn is just brown and it's ready to come out. We're going to have, continued warm weather here. Hopefully we can get bean harvest rolling good and get those out so we can get after this corn, because I'm afraid we're going to need to get after it sooner than you think. And it's drying really rapidly in the field. As we get this stuff black layered, it's moving along. So I think by the time we get a week of bean combining in here, you're going to be probably a little bit surprised how dry some of this corn may be. You can kind of see I'm out in a test plot here. I don't know how well you can see it from the camera, but we've got a lot of brown tissue here, leaves that are just gone. We got a little bit more green in some of this, a little bit healthier, a little different genetics, but there's an awful lot of this stuff out here that's basically what I would say is not very happy. You can kind of see, there's some green stalks here. If you're out in the field looking at it, and if you've got green stalks, that's a good thing. That shows you got some health yet. I don't so much care if the leaves are brown, if we've got green stalks yet, but if we've got brown leaves, the stalks are going to start to go pretty quickly too. If you look at, I expect to see some of this out here too. We've got a rotted plant that's kinked over. The ear's drooping, the ear's a little bit rubbery, didn't quite finish, it died early. Some of the stresses we've had during the year didn't treat this, some of this corn crop very well to finish. So I think we've got a decent corn crop, probably not as great as we had hoped, but let's not let it get on the ground. I know nobody wants to pay drying fees and drying charges, but let's be aware of what we have going on out in the field. A hybrid like this, everything has been brown for a while. This is going to go over, and it's already leaning over in some of the fields areas behind us here. This is standing really good. So know what you have. Get a chance to go out and look at your fields. Once you get to where you're winding down on bean harvest, or if you have some time, let's evaluate where we're at. We talk about this every year. I know it probably gets sickening, but it's well worth understanding where the risk is. We need every kernel of corn out of every acre this year to compensate for some of the prices we have for our commodities, so we can't let anything go on the ground. Nobody's going to want to take the time. We've got enough wind damaged corn that's already going to take a long time to harvest. We need to make sure we get the right fields first. So I guess that's kind of a wrap for 2025, and I guess we'll see if we can take another run at it next year in 2026. Thanks for this season, and we'll see you next year.